Even with all the effort and funding that goes in brain science, we still haven't learned all that there is to know about the brain. From what we do know, and in more simple terms, the brain is a complex structure of electrical circuits and chemistry. Out of all the chemicals, there are 4 better-known substances that are created in the body that signal, that is, give you the feel-good feeling. These are called neurochemicals, and the most common feel-good chemicals are serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine and endorphins. Individually, they all play their part in creating the happiness we feel, but the main happy substance is dopamine. Reduced production in these chemicals has been shown to lead to general feeling of sadness, lack of energy and even depression. In such cases, the doctor will probably rush off to prescribe some big pharma-approved drugs to get you back on track. An example of this are antidepressants, who have been shown to have even worse after effects and can lead to addiction. There are, however, 6 proven things you can do to up your happiness level naturally and without the use of drugs. 1. Working out. The brain is very quick to react to any physical activity we take on. It quickly released happiness substances like endorphin, dopamine and serotonin. Immediately you start to feel better. Your skin is glowing, you smile and have an overall more positive appearance. People who exercise regularly know how good they'll feel post-workout, so that dopamine is already firing in their brains. To get to that point, you'll need to start and finish a workout before enjoying its feel-good effects. However, you don't need to go whole hog on some vomit-inducing CrossFit session to start feeling more motivated. You can build up with lower intensity exercise until your workout habit is solidified. If being a fiercely competitive athlete isn't your thing, walking, yoga, or other low-impact exercises can increase dopamine levels associated with improved mood and sense of well-being, says Dana Ryan, PhD, and Senior Manager, Sports Performance and Education at Herbalife Nutrition. Think of it this way, what do you actually like to do that's active? When was the last time you felt a good high from exercise? You don't need to do that thing religiously. You just need something to kick off the first wave of exercise-related happiness to get yourself motivated for next time. Try seeking out workouts you might actually look forward to. Maybe it's time to schedule a regular pickup game of basketball with your friends, or to plan a weekend hiking trip. If, as a kid, you loved riding your bike, why not invest in a new set of wheels and sign up for a cycling event? Then, after each workout, make a point of noting how accomplished and successful you feel. By choosing to engage in exercise even without the action-spurring pre-workout dopamine boost, you're developing the habits that ultimately help set this brain chemical in motion. 2. Say no to addiction. Addiction changes the essential chemical structure of your brain. In such cases, dopamine levels suffer and start to decrease. This will lead the brain to believe that only with the abuse of that substance, you can feel happier and more alive. You can turn your back on a person, but never turn your back on a drug, especially when it's waving a razor-sharp hunting knife in your eye. No stranger himself to the compelling nature of addiction. As has been demonstrated many times over, drug addiction is a powerful force that can take control of the lives of users. In the past, addiction was thought to be a weakness of character, but in recent decades research has increasingly found that addiction to drugs like cocaine, heroin and methamphetamine is a matter of brain chemistry. Dr. Nora Volkow, the director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, says that the way a brain becomes addicted to a drug is related to how a drug increases levels of the naturally occurring neurotransmitter dopamine, which modulates the brain's ability to perceive reward reinforcement. The pleasure sensation that the brain gets when dopamine levels are elevated creates the motivation for us to proactively perform actions that are indispensable to our survival, like eating or procreation. Dopamine is what conditions us to do the things we need to do. Using addictive drugs floods the limbic brain with dopamine, taking it up to as much as 5 or 10 times the normal level. With these levels elevated, the user's brain begins to associate the drug with an outsized neurochemical reward. Over time, by artificially raising the amount of dopamine our brains think is normal, the drugs create a need that only they can meet. If a drug produces increases in dopamine in these limbic areas of the brain, then your brain is going to understand that signal as something that is very reinforcing, and will learn it very rapidly, says Volkow. And so that the next time you get exposed to that stimuli, your brain already has learned that that's reinforcing, and you immediately, what we call a type of memory that's conditioning, will desire that particular drug. Over time, the consistently high levels of dopamine create plastic changes to the brain, desensitizing neurons so that they are less affected by it, and decreasing the number of receptors. That leads to the process of addiction, wherein a person loses control and is left with an intense drive to compulsively take the drug. 3. Cleanse your body. The body never stops working, so in time it naturally collects waste and toxic leftovers that sometimes cannot be filtered out completely. Try 1 or 2 of the humorous detox diets to clean your body, and you will see an improvement in your mood and happiness. Detoxifying your body is not only about what you avoid, but also about what you consume. Following a healthy diet can go a long way. There are also many foods that aid detoxification: garlic, lemon, broccoli sprouts, mung beans, and raw vegetables. Many diets promote cleansing and detoxification. I follow and recommend a strict raw, organic, vegan diet, but there are other options if this isn't for you. You could also try a raw alkaline diet. It's a temporary cleanse consisting of uncooked fruits and vegetables and raw nuts, seeds, and sprouts. It's a great strategy for detoxing the colon and liver. A juice diet is also helpful and is centered around consuming freshly made fruit and vegetable juice, preferably organic. 4. Music. Music releases a chemical in the brain that has a key role in setting good moods, a study has suggested. The study, reported in Nature Neuroscience, found that the chemical was released at moments of peak enjoyment. The study involved scanning the brains of 8 volunteers over 3 sessions, using 2 different types of scan. A key element of the study was to measure the release of dopamine when the participants were feeling their highest emotional response to the music. To achieve this, researchers marked when participants felt a shiver down the spine of the sort that many people feel in response to a favorite piece of music. This chill, or musical frisson, pinpointed when the volunteers were feeling maximum pleasure. The scans showed increased endogenous dopamine transmission when the participants felt a chill. Conversely, when they were listening to music which did not produce a chill, less dopamine was released. Dr. Robert Zator said, "We needed to be sure that we could find people who experienced chills very consistently and reliably. That is because once we put them in the scanner, if they did not get chills, then we would have nothing to measure." The other factor that was important is that we wanted to eliminate any potential confound from verbal associations, so we used only instrumental music. This also eliminated many of the original sample of people because the music they brought in that gave them chills had lyrics. 5. Set goals and then complete them. There is something about the human brain that has a very positive attitude, setting goals and, of course, achieving them. This is strongly linked to achievements, progress, and even developing your own identity in your social circles. Start by saving some money. Over time you will feel even better as your savings start growing. At the end, with some persistence, you will have achieved a set goal and ended up with some money on the side. It really is a win-win. 6. Mind your tyrosine levels. Tyrosine is an amino acid with a strong role in the production of dopamine in the brain. Without it, the body will be in a severe chemical disbalance. So some of the good food to consume to keep tyrosine at ideal levels are chocolate, and particularly dark chocolate, green tea and almonds. But here's a list of the top 10 foods highest in tyrosine. Cheese, parmesan, soy foods, roasted soybeans, lean beef and lamb, roast beef, lean pork, chops, cooked fish and seafood, salmon, cooked chicken and turkey, chicken breast, cooked seeds and nuts, pumpkin seeds, eggs and dairy, eggs, beans and lentils, white beans, cooked, whole grains, wild rice, cooked. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.